Well, Noah, it's good to talk to you today. I just want to kind of go through and just kind of have you share some of your story about working with us. I guess I've got a couple of questions I want to ask you about just working with us and writing with us and having us produce a song. Kind of take me back to the beginning. I'm sure you had some fears that you were facing and kind of like pulling the trigger on working with us.
Yeah, for sure. So when I was just starting, I just turned 19. So it was one of those things where it's like, oh, like I'm 19 and I don't know if I can handle like, working with like a team, like a big professional thing.
Yeah.
And just kind of like going into like the business aspect of music because it's never been like that serious for me. But coming out of school, I kind of mentioned to you guys that I've been with a couple companies before, a smaller label and a production company, and things were just not going. Oh man,
Yeah,
the battery.
lost your video.
We lost the video.
You're good.
Here we go.
Got you back.
But I was with a smaller company, and things just weren't going well. And just in faith and everything, I was really praying and believing for like a team that was going to help me take that next step forward when it was time. And then when we met up, it just kind of felt like a connection, like with you and Wes and just everybody. And it just kind of took like that load off of my shoulders from working with other companies, where it felt easier. The biggest thing that I noticed was like how comfortable I was like in the rights and in the studio and everything like that. I felt like more at ease to like kind of like throw ideas and like sing. So it just kind of felt like way more comfortable than working with other groups.
Wow. Well, that's a huge compliment. We appreciate the encouraging feedback. So is that kind of what made you decide to hire us as producers, just kind of feeling comfortable with us in the writing room and having your ideas heard and incorporated?
Yeah, 100%. Like, as I was kind of mentioning earlier, I try to like make sure that every step I take, with me being in faith and everything, that like God precedes. And I just felt like this was the team that like God was like, oh, like this is what I'm gonna honor, and this is what I brought you to. And so like if you partner in faith, with these guys and with me, and kind of work on all this stuff together, then I'm gonna honor what you guys are presenting. And
so good.
So I really just wanted to continue on with that comfortable kind of vibe and everything.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow. So good to hear that, bro. It's encouraging me right now.
I'm glad.
For real. So how would you say working with us has helped kind of develop and grow you as an artist?
Definitely the thing that I like most about working with you guys is being pushed in areas where I'm not as comfortable, and kind of like being acknowledged in what I am kind of like stronger in. So one thing that I've been really learning how to do ever since like I came to Nashville is not just like writing a song for like anybody, but like learning how to write a song for like my own voice and what works with my tone and what works with just like the messages that I'm trying to like put forward. And the thing that I really like about working with you guys and like in our songs and everything is doing that, finding out like, oh, like melodically, like this is what you're like strong in, and like lyrically this is what you can work on, and how to combine them, and how everybody can put their efforts forward to make like a song that's like really good. So just the village aspect, I love like working in a team.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Like, it sounds like, working with us, you kind of learned how to write songs that really fit your voice and your message and who you are as an artist, and kind of help find your sound and find a song that fits your sound as an artist. So awesome. So glad we got to be a part of that, bro. It's an important process, and it can feel intimidating at first. So,
and it's always like obviously still learning and everything, but
yeah, for sure.
I feel like it's like we're all kind of just like growing together and kind of like pushing each other in every aspect. And that's like what kind of like a good like group does. So it's pretty darn cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Iron sharpening iron, bro.
Yeah.
So we wrote a song together, you, me, and Wes in the room, and you ended up hiring us to produce it for you. And we completed that, and you released it last year. Has that song helped you grow your fan base at all?
It has. I was talking about that last night. It was just kind of crazy how you guys mentioned when we had our first kind of meeting and writing everything that having like a debut single would help have like a platform to kind of like keep on like walking on and everything. And with me not knowing anything, it just kind of went in one ear and out the other. But then once the song came out, I was just really floored by like the support that it's gotten. And like, I feel like everybody that I'd already known kind of like shared it and everything. And since the song came out, I probably gained about, like, not the numbers are important, but
they're important though.
Yeah, it helps out. I've gained about like 100 followers on every one of my like social media platforms, and so that's awesome. Just boosted the amount of like ways that I can kind of share like messages and things that I'm really wanting to take a part of in artistry.
And what about streams and Spotify listeners?
And one thing that I love about working with you guys is like learning about like kind of like playlisting and like working with all that sort of stuff. And so you guys have helped me know how to submit a song and not just go in blind and stuff like that. So it's done pretty well numbers wise. It's been out for 2 months and it's just gotten under 20,000 streams.
Dude, it's pretty good, bro, for a first debut single.
It does feel
almost 20,000. Yeah. And did that grow your Spotify listener base as well? Obviously it did. I mean,
yeah, it did. With me not having any Spotify listeners before,
right.
It's went up to
like 6,000 monthly, or you passed that?
I think right now I capped around like 6,000.
Yeah.
But for like a first song, it's been pretty darn cool.
Man, that's awesome. Just for to be an artist, facing all the different unknowns and question marks and mysteries around Spotify releasing and playlisting and trying to grow, a fan base on Spotify and social media, like hearing just the results you got is really encouraging to me as an artist and for any artists who are going to watch this video. But yeah, to go from 0 to like 6,000 monthly listeners on one release and almost 20,000 streams already within a couple months, that's pretty great for Spotify, bro. So I'm really proud of you.
Well, I couldn't be here without you guys. Everybody else that's like behind the scenes that is just so amazing. And God,
man, yeah, we love working with you, bro. You're a good artist, so that helps. If you've got it, if you've got the talent and a voice, got a great voice. So, man, so any kind of cool doors or like industry relationships or conversations kind of come out of releasing this song? Did it catch any ears?
Like I said, I've just been really surprised by like the support and everything. One really cool opportunity that I can't exactly reveal all the details about, but
super top secret, huh?
Not super top secret because it's not that fancy, but a brand deal. So I'm really excited about like that sort of thing.
Hey.
A smaller company in the Midwest, but we're gonna get started with that sort of thing. We're just talking about the details. So like a small brand deal, lots of rights. Like I've really been excited about like, meeting other creatives and, seeing how we can kind of sharpen each other and just, grab coffee and talk about music. So getting in rights, talking about like house show opportunities and just ways to kind of promote each other and what we're just trying to put out forward into the world. So that kind of networking is really cool. And then really just like this one isn't as much of a business standpoint sort of thing, but having something to kind of like show like, hey, like this is what we've been working on for so long. I think it really like does something with like loved ones and people back home. Like it's really cool to kind of show like, hey, like this is what I'm doing. It's not just like, you know, a hobby. It may be a hobby for like summer, but just to kind of like show. And then like once they realize, oh my gosh, like this is like a physical thing that I can kind of like hold on to and it's tangible. It kind of makes it a little bit more real for everyone. And so it's just really cool.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. I knew there was like, I think was it a creative director for a major label in town, heard your song. And I think at least I talked to him later and I think he said it, yeah, definitely didn't sound like Nashville or Christian music. It sounded like pop. So, you don't have to say his name, but I think, you know, do you know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
What did he have to say to you about the song?
So it was one of the first times that we'd actually had a conversation. We go to church together. And I was just really surprised because he came up to me and he was like, hey, like, how you doing, man? I was like, I'm doing good. How are you doing? And he was like, was that your song that we're just playing in the children's church? And I was like, yeah, that's like a song that I worked on with, like, you know, Nate, you know, Wes at church. And he was like, yeah. And then he was like, man, like, that's really good, bro. I was like, thank you so much. And then he was like, it's just like really cool how it's like Christian music, but it's like also it kind of has like that other element that like kind of it makes you feel good and everything. And I just felt like really blessed by that. And like it blessed my heart to know that he thought that. And then when I found out that what he does, like, you know, who he works with and everything, I was like, oh, like that's a really huge compliment. So that was a really cool thing to hear.
Wow. Yeah. Very encouraging to hear that from someone who's, you know, been in the industry for a while and has a creative role for one of the bigger labels in town. So
yeah,
without name dropping. So yeah, wow. Well, we really love working with you, Noah, and, you know, anytime we get together and ride and produce, I know we've got some things ahead of us in the future this year. So looking forward to, working on some more fire to release for you as an artist, later this year. And, do you have any advice for anyone who's kind of maybe on the fence, pulling the trigger on, hiring us for production? Any advice you want to give anyone?
Yeah. My biggest advice is for like any artist or any label or any team that's like looking for production. I would just say, first of all, like if you have like, you know, faith or religion, I would say pray about it. But if you feel called to do it, my biggest advice is just do it and go for it. If you're nervous about it, it's probably a good thing. Because like our pastor says, anything that you reap, you're going to sow. And so where you reap a lot, you're going to sow a lot. And so just go forward in it and take that risk. And the worst thing that can happen is, you know, you're like, oh, well, let's try something else. But if you ask me, I don't really think that's going to happen. But just go for it and see how the vibe works and see where God moves and let him do the rest. Don't do too much thinking. Yeah.
It's awesome. So good, man. You can't reap where you haven't sown, and you have to invest in yourself as an artist if you want to grow your music career. So, man, thanks for taking some time to just kind of catch up and share with us your story, working with us. And like I said, we love working with you, and we're just excited for what God has for you in your career, your artist career in the future, and just glad that we get to be a part of it. So,
yeah, I'm thankful. I love you guys so much. I can't wait to see you guys soon.
Yes. Looking forward to our next song. So it's going to be good, man.